see you working hard on your website words and doing everything you can to get those moneymaker pages actually doing their job. And I'm gonna do everything I can to help you, okay? But what is right for you and your various offers? When should you have a sales page and when should you have a services page? And how long or short or medium are these pages? Well, I'm gonna tell you today what works best for your business and when to pick it. It is summer, which means that may be a great time for you to go in and edit, spruce up some of the copy on your website. That's what we're doing over here in my business. Today's topic is fun for me because I write both of these type pages as a conversion copywriter for creative entrepreneurs. I can promise I'm gonna give you unbiased advice. I love them both. I've written dozens of both types for clients. There are a couple of factors to think about when considering if a sales page or a services page is right for you and figure out how to get it as airtight as possible. We're gonna dive into that here in episode 76, but if you are new around here, I would like to invite you to pop down below and hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it. That's how you're gonna be first in line to know when these episodes drop every single week. We're gonna think about your offer on 3 different levels to figure out which one is right for you, a sales page or a services page. So go ahead, shut your eyes, have a moment, and get that offer in mind that you want to write about. Maybe it is a group coaching program or a mastermind. Maybe it's just a specific one-on-one service that you offer in your business or more of a productized service. Or maybe it's a product itself. Get that in mind and walk with me through these 3 points. Number 1, what amount of convincing is needed here? What is the effort effect, essentially? Number 2, what is the next step for the client or the customer? And number 3, what kind of price point are we working with? I'm gonna take you through these and hopefully break a tie that will help you decide. First up, how much convincing do you need to do on this page? So a sales page has one job and one job only, and that is to convince them to buy before they leave the page. It's heavy duty on the convincing. The focus on a services page is to communicate well your services, your process, how long it takes, what it's like to work with you, and how someone can go ahead and get started right away working with you. It's a little more medium duty on the convincing. More on that in step number 2, but you probably have another step in the process. While both pages are trying to appeal to just the right people and repel those who are not, one of these feels a little bit more locked and loaded than the other. Let me explain. So a sales page is almost always medium to long form. It either functions as a standalone page or it's kind of a micro site in and of itself. There's no separate navigation bar at the top. Typically, there aren't even links in the footer to allow your reader to exit the page or bounce off of it. With no outbound links, this page offers no way to get off of it unless you exit or click out of the window. A services page, on the other hand, functions as a page in the greater unit of a website. There is typically a navigation bar up at the top. They can check out your about page if they want to learn more about you and your business and your personality. They can also probably go find your portfolio and click through that to see what kind of work you do. Think about choosing this through the experience of your reader. Which one of these options would benefit your reader the most? The opportunity to go somewhere else on your website or the opportunity to stay put and make a decision immediately? If this is starting to make sense, can you do me a favor? Pop down below in the comments and say, yes, I'm starting to get this, or let me know of any clarifying questions on that. One more thing, if scarcity is part of your offer, you're probably going to want to lean more towards that long or medium form sales page. That's your opportunity to spend a little bit more time with them and help them decide quickly. A countdown timer may help you here, but spoiler alert, I'm going to talk to you about scarcity on your services page at the end of this video. A few more things as you're thinking about how convincing to be to get them to hit that call to action button. A services page probably isn't that first page that a potential customer or client comes to on your website. They might have come from a blog post or a Google search or social media, or they were on your about page and they decided to come over here and see how they could work with you. A sales page, however, because it is standalone, is probably something that you're going to want to send your readers to a little more directly. Maybe that's through email or some other kind of direct link. Now, this is not hard and fast science, but it's a little bit of a rule of thumb here. A sales page is typically a greater part of a funnel, so they've been starting to get these messages and you're just expediting the process there on the sales page. Also, in my experience, the services page is written with a little bit more SEO in mind because you are more than happy to have cold traffic land on this page. Remember how we said they may be coming from Google or from Pinterest or from a blog post that they found? A services page is ready for cold traffic. traffic. Your services page is primed for, but not always, going to be more warm traffic. Your services page needs to absolutely be written and ready for cold traffic to land there. Number 2 thing to think about, what is the next step in your client or customer's journey? Do they need to go to a thank you page or download whatever it was that they purchased? You're probably going to want to go with a sales page in that capacity. Do they need to go to a contact form or an application? If that's the case, then you probably want to lean more towards the services page. If you're sending them off to a login or a purchase thank you page, you are removing yourself from the process of it. So we're going to want a medium or a long form sales page in front of that. You're taking yourself out of the situation and letting your website words and your website do the selling and the converting for you. So we need a little bit more time with them so you can help explain and help them make that decision. Does that make sense? Whereas if you're directing them to talk to you next, you may be educating them on your services page or helping them self-select which one of your offers may be a fit for them. So many service providers that I work with are a part of the sales process. You know that if you can get them on that consult call, you can probably book them. And if this is the case, then you're definitely going to want to make sure that you stick to the relevant details on your services page. You don't want to give them too much. You don't want to overload them. You want to give them just enough to get to the next step in the process. Pro tip here, if this is you, maybe consider embedding that contact form at the bottom of your services page. This would reduce that bounce opportunity they have to jump over to your contact page, keep them in one spot, and sometimes that could help. Again, try it out. It may not work for you, it may not convert any better, but it's worth a shot. So that's the next thing to think through. Lean more towards a services style page if you are part of the selling process yourself. If you need to help your client or customer figure out which tier or which offer is a fit for them, go with this. If you're removing yourself from the sales process as much as possible, you're going to want to go more with a medium to long form sales page because it's going to be doing the heavy lifting and the selling for you. Finally, number 3, let's talk about the pricing. If it's a single offer with a solid price point and not much room for negotiation, you're going to want to go with a sales page. Again, we got to be extra convincing here, so that medium to long form page is going to give you more space to really make that sell and be persuasive. You'll have more room for social proof, badges, and tons of testimonials and case studies. Also, a sales page is typically going to have a guarantee. Again, on a sales page, we're removing ourselves a little bit from the process, so you need to have some sort of risk reversal there that helps them understand, if I buy this and I hate it, what do I do next? If you have tiers or different price points, or you even do custom work, a more medium form services page is going to be the best. Please do put some sort of pricing here. I've worked with so many clients and students, and this always comes up, should I list my prices or not? My vote time after time after time is to at least give me some sort of benchmark to know if I should even reach out or not. You don't want to waste each other's time. At least tell me what your prices start at. One tip for my wedding industry entrepreneurs out there, you could also give a percentage of the whole wedding price that your service costs. Does that make sense? You could say brides typically spend 10% of their budget on this when they're working with me. Clearly the lines blur a bit on services page or sales page, but here's my vote. If you're a creative entrepreneur and you're writing your services page, I would recommend that you borrow heavily from what are more traditional sales page attributes. The problem I see with services pages in the niche that I work in is there's usually no hierarchy, or it simply lists services. I love to test things in my business, and I started crafting services pages that were a little more sales pages-ish early on in my business, and it did great. So I've gone on and I teach students how to do that too. I want to give you a quick 5-point lightning round of ideas that we can borrow from sales pages as we write our services pages. First up, get clear on your target audience. My students know that I am going to tell you to break up your services on different pages, particularly if you have a service that sells for maybe $150 an hour or whatever, and you also have a service that costs $5,000. Those are 2 very different clients, so we need to write specifically to each of them. The more you know about your audience and write directly to them, the stronger your services page is going to be. Number 2, use a frequently asked questions section. Answer any questions that your potential clients may have before they work with you. Number 3, show me your authority on this page. Use those mastheads, use those badges. Number 4, show me the results. Detailed testimonials boost credibility, and people are more likely to buy when they see others have had a positive experience. And number 5, don't be afraid to use bulleted or broken up copy. Our well-written sales page is king of working a reader down the page and keeping them scrolling and reading. So I want you to do the same thing on your services page. Break up your copy and work me down that page. There's no single structure that works specifically for all services pages. I hope you've seen though how you can borrow elements from more traditional sales pages and use those on your services page. If you need more support there, I have a free download for you. It's an anatomy of a sales page, and I think it'll help you get started. Grab that that link down below, and if you found this video helpful, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next episode.